Hi everyone, and welcome back to Momentum, a series of movement, mindfulness, and breathwork videos made especially for the incredible staff team at Grand River Hospital. We're going to start standing. The only thing you really need for today's practice is access to a chair, and ideally a chair that doesn't have a cushioned seat, or a desk would work really well. Come to stand in front of the chair. And find a sturdy place for your feet. So maybe that's a little wider than hip width. Maybe your toes are turned out. Find a moment to roll your shoulders back and down before we get started in earnest. Let's do that one more time. Roll those shoulders back, yep. And then allow your hands to find the seat of the chair. Walk your feet back so that you've got about a foot space or a foot and a half between your feet and the chair. Bring a little bit of a bend so that you can lift into your knees, so that you can lift through your tail. And then start to walk on the seat of the chair with your hands, testing out how your wrists feel as you bring a little bit of weight into them. Maybe you walk forward and back a couple times. And then introduce some rotation by turning your fingers away from each other and see how this feels. If it's pretty intense and you're finding your hands don't want to, they don't feel good when you're putting this much weight into them, you could certainly come over to your desk, which would probably be a higher height, and try the same thing right on your desk. Keep going, walking your hands in and out, turning them in and out as well to discover what's going on in those joints that work so hard every day. And then start to make your way back to fingers pointing straight forward. Ground down through the entire length of each finger, including the knuckle bed. Float your thumbs up. And keeping those fingers grounded, start to press down and lift just your palms up. This is, again, one of those actions that you might want to adjust by making it a little easier or a little harder. If you want to make it a little easier, send your weight back, take your weight out of your wrists a little bit. But keep gliding your palms up and down, and do check that every finger is grounded. The tendency is probably going to be to lift your fingers up as well. See if you can really press down through those knuckle beds. Another way to regress would be to go back to the desk, placing a little bit less weight into your hands. Wherever you've decided to work, can you slow the lift and lower down quite a bit? Smooth it out. And then the next time that your hands come down to the seat of the chair, flip your palms over, point your fingers towards each other, and start to invite a little bit of bend into your elbows. Allow your face to come down in space, and then use the backs of your hands to press yourself up and away. You decide how deep you bend your elbows. Next time your elbows go wide, invite your fingers to curl in, wrap your thumbs around, press your elbows straighter. They're not going to straighten completely, but find a productive line of tension along the backs of your forearms. I know this is intense. Then bend your knees, take your weight out of your hands, come up to a stand and flick everything off. Shake your hands out, shake your wrists out, shake your arms out. Come to a sturdy stance again. Invite your thumb and baby fingers to rest, the pads of your fingers to rest on each other. The other three fingers are going to point straight up, but see if you can really close this area between the outside edges of the bottom of your palm, and then begin to rock those three fingers forward, ooh, and then back, forward and back. You might feel this in the base of your thumb. See if you can keep those fingers straight. They're going to want to participate and curve. Back and forth 2 more times. See if you can slow it down. Who knew that wrist and hand work would be one of the most challenging workouts that we do together? All right, release that work. Make a few loose circles with your hands. Don't worry too much about the shape or how it looks. Let that go. And then begin to close your fingers, wrap your thumbs around, and then flip your fingers open like you've got water on the end and you're trying to get that off. See how fast you can go. How wide can you open your fingers apart? How close can you close them? Ooh, do a couple more. It's harder and harder as you keep going. And then shake those hands out again. All right. Reach both palms forward and out so that you can actually have a good look at your elbows and what's going to be going on here. Bend your elbows and try to close the elbow joint as much as possible. So this space between your bicep and your forearm, close that space as much as you can. With an open palm, flip your palm over, still closing that joint. Then press your hands down. See if you can open your elbow joint as much as possible. Draw those hands back up, close the elbow joint, flip the palm over, and then open. I just got a little click there. Close the elbow joint, flip the palms, open the elbow joint. One more time. Close your elbow joint nice and tight, flip your palms, and then open. Notice any differences from side to side. It may not feel different, but it might. And then begin to draw your shoulders up towards your ears, roll them back onto your back body, reach your thumbs up and away, palms face up, T-shape arms, reach up, hands draw down to heart center. One more breath like that. Reach up, circle the arms. Float your hands back down to heart center. And then come to the chair again. Place both hands on the seat of the chair. Walk your feet back about a foot and a half. Bend into your knees so that you can lift through your tail. So you're looking to move away from this kind of curved back shape, a little more flat back action. Pin your left hand down with your right hand. So keep your left hand in place and start to rotate your elbow joint open and closed. Keep it straight while you turn the eye of your elbow. So this joint right here, turn it backwards and forwards. You're not making a full circle. It's kind of like a half circle. If you're finding any pain or clunkiness, can you slow it down and back it off? Make it a little less intense. One more time, open and close. And we're going to switch sides. Place your right hand down, pin it in place with your left hand, and then try opening and closing the eye of the elbow on this side. Can you rotate firmly while you keep your elbows straight? One more time. Yeah. Place both hands down on the seat of the chair. Send your buttocks back with bent knees. Give a bit of a wiggle through your spine. And then walk your feet back a little bit further. So maybe they're 2 or 3 feet away from the chair or the desk. Remember, we can use the desk at any time. With bent knees and a tucked tail, can you bend your elbows and try a little regressed push-up? So you only have to bend your elbows a couple of inches to get the benefit here. Use the power of your arms to press yourself back up. Don't move anything but your elbows here. One more time. Baby push-up. And then walk your feet back into the seat of the chair. Send your hips back. Tent your fingers so you're really using as little weight as possible and lift through your chest. Then bring your hands to heart center for chair pose. See if you can send your buttocks a little bit lower. And then shoot to standing. Reach up. Take up space. Hands come back to heart center. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. I'll be over here. Slow down your breath. If it feels okay to close your eyes for a moment or two, go ahead and do that. And have a little tiny baby sway back and forth. Front to back, side to side. Release your hands down. Thank you so much for being here. Thank yourself for showing up and practicing in the middle of your day. I'll see you next time.